Welcome to the Passion Behind the Art Show. It's all about diving in with individuals to learn the story behind their passion. It's your host, Darold Pinnock.
What's up? What's up, y'all? It's another week, another opportunity for me to bring you value, but this time it's through my very own story. And I just want to share with you what I've been up to, what's been going on, what's changed, what's new, what I stopped doing, what I'm going to continue to do, just to kind of check in with you to let you know what's going on. So before I jump into that, one of the most important things to me right now, what's the most important things to the podcast is to get this Patreon page not up and running, because it's been up and running, but to get more Patreons on. So if you enjoy the show and you would love to support, I would appreciate it. Something as low as $2 a month. That's it. Nothing more. There's different tiers, and of course, with different tiers, you get more incentives. So I would really appreciate it if you could jump on the Patreon page and support the podcast. You could find it at patreon.com /PBTA show, or go to the podcast website, passionbindtheart.com, and you'll find the link to the Patreon right there. All right. So what's been new? A couple things. The podcast actually has a team now. So I brought an editor on board, which was my brother, and now I've added a writer. Someone to help me with the show notes and get the writing down packed much better. Just trying to take the podcast to another level and to be able to put out more content and share more. So the podcast has a team, so I can legit write we, because it's actual we. To be honest, I kind of felt weird writing we when I know it was just me, but now, oh snaps, did you hear that? That just rhymed. But anyways, now it's a team, and I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited of where we're going to take it, and so much good things are happening, and I just want to let you guys know what else is going on. So another thing is, in a couple weeks, I will be speaking at a conference, and it's called Design Revival, and it's going to be speaking and giving a workshop, and I'm excited about it, and I'm looking forward to it. And these are some of the things that has come about since I've started the podcast, and not all of it, I could say, okay, directly because I'm doing this podcast, it happened. But I also know that the podcast helped me to get in the room with the person that's going to introduce me to another person to get some of these things happen. So that's one of the perks about the podcast. It's really open doors. And I've always said this, and I'm going to say it again. The most important thing, it's really helped build amazing relationships. So one of the big things is that, for those who didn't know, my design career was, a large percentage of it was freelance and contract and working as my own entity. And now my day job had nothing to do with design. I worked for a big corporation, and they hired me as a contractor to do design work, but my job there wasn't to do design. I worked in finance, in the financial area, for 9 years. And so I went from the architectural field, right, for between school and work for about 8 years. And then I went to the financial field for 9 years. And now I am working at a marketing/design agency doing design every day, all day, with an amazing group of people. And this is one of the situations where this is more than just, okay, the podcast opened the door. This was me just being diligent and patient, because I didn't go to school for design. I went for a different type of design, at least. I went to school for architecture, and I went to school to learn to design buildings and floor plans and stuff like that. That's what I went to school for. And that changed when I fell in love with design. So I was working in that field, but on the side, I was doing design. And ever since then, I've been just doing it on the side. And 2015, I really got myself exposed to different people. And within the past year, I was relentless in saying, okay, I'm going to get a job, because I felt like it was time. It was either a job or get a big contract. And the job came before the contract. So now I'm working for a company called M&R Marketing, and it's an amazing group of people. Like, they do a lot of work for a lot of different companies, some super big, some super small, but they are like dominating. I'm talking about like a lot of work, hundreds of projects going on at any moment. So we're doing a lot of work, and more importantly, the work atmosphere is amazing. And when I was at this corporation before I got this job, I just knew that, you know what I mean? Like, I had to make a change, because the atmosphere was going down the drain. It was a toxic atmosphere. It was beating down on my soul. It was beating down on my mentals. It was beating down on everything that was good in me. And I needed to get out. And I kind of turned it up, turned up my prayers, turned up my pursuit, turned up my just letting everyone know that this is where I'm trying to go and this is what I'm trying to do. And I got close multiple times, For those who don't even know, almost got a job working for Dave Ramsey. That didn't work out. And it probably just wasn't the right timing, because I would need to move. I would need to do a whole lot of different things. So it didn't work out, and I still believe like it's still probably going to happen, but I probably needed this process at the time. And to be honest, right now where I'm at, like, I don't need it to happen, because when I tell you I'm at an amazing place, I'm working with an amazing set of people, like, I wouldn't trade not one of them for the world, right? I wouldn't trade not one of them for the world. The team that I'm on, they've got designers, copywriters, web developers, account managers. I mean, they've got the whole nine. And an amazing project manager. So that's one of the big things that's happened. And now one of the two things that really come back to me, right? So because I didn't go to school for design, a lot of this stuff I had to learn on my own and be a fast learner, be around someone and pick up things quick. You know what I mean? Just pick up things quick and then go back and research it and double down and learn it, right? So there was different times where people put stuff out they didn't even know. Some of them did know. They just put something in my face, and I soaked it up and then went back and learned. But there was a point in my life where I was like always on the computer. Like, I am still always on the computer, but this was a time when that wasn't necessarily like, I guess, a popular thing. It was like a little about 2008. Somewhere between 2007, 2008. And people used to say, oh, it's the people around me, it's close people to me. Oh, you're always on the computer. And now that I'm at this place now, I keep thinking, like, if I wasn't always on the computer, just trying my best to master this craft, when the at-bat came, I wouldn't be able to even step at the plate to swing. So this is one lesson I want to tell you. Sometimes it may be like, you're working at something and you may not feel like it's working out, or people around you may seem like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this too much? Like, dedication and diligence is a very vital asset character to have. Dedication and diligence is a very vital character to have. To be dedicated to something, to be diligently learning. So now that I look back, and now that I'm here, I'm like, I'm glad I stuck it out. And it wasn't even like I was like sticking it out. I was enjoying it. I just felt uncomfortable being around these people because I knew they were going to say something about me being on the computer. But I still was on it. Like, it didn't stop me. And that's one thing. Like, you may feel uncomfortable with what people are saying around you, about you, whatever the case may be. Just don't let it stop you. You're only human. You could feel uncomfortable. You may feel like a loner, but just don't let it stop you. Just keep doing, keep going, right? And then this podcast, like, I never thought that this podcast would open all these different doors and help me to meet different people and different situations come about. Like, two of the because they asked for, like, when I was going through the interview process, they asked for references. And, when you're doing a job, that's a normal thing. They ask for references. But not only did they ask for references, they asked for clients that hired me to design for them. So, I was like, okay, they're really checking me out. So I sent them my 2 references, and I sent them a couple clients that hired me to design for them. And the people they called were like, I don't believe anyone would say anything like terrible or whatever the case may be. I know that these are good people, and even like they're going to tell the truth. And if I'm amazing, they're going to say I'm amazing. If not, they're going to say, like, you know what, whatever. But they call these people, and one of the clients are people that I've known even before I started the podcast, like people that have hired me multiple times to do design, and people that I've helped with design and stuff like that. But the references were people that I met not necessarily through the podcast, but the podcast helped us to get closer, and they've been a big part of like what I'm doing and supporting me. And those people kind of like really helped seal the deal. Like when I was there now working there, they'll tell me like the different things that I did during the interview process, the way I presented myself during the interview process, how it stand out. And, you know, I was just doing these things because like this is what you do. But to hear them say it back to me of the different things that stood out to them about me versus the other candidates, it really like, you know, okay, you know, I'm not too far off. You know what I mean? Like all those times when I came close, it probably wasn't the time. It wasn't those places I was supposed to be, because I was supposed to be at this place for this time, for right now. You know, because all those things that I did, everything about me, the people that I surround myself with, the references that they called, like it resonated with them. You know, so I just want to let you know that just keep pushing, keep going at it. You may not be looking for a job. You may trying to find the next big client. Like just keep going, whatever the case, whatever it is that you're looking for. Like, once you know who you are and you're not trying to be something else, or you're not trying to present something else, just present who you are and the people that represent you. Like, it will attract the right organization, the right person. It will attract them. You know what I mean? So now that I'm doing this, it's been pretty cool. And I mean, I love what I do. I get caught up doing design because I love design. And I just love the atmosphere that I work with. And I can tell that they spend a lot of time trying to build their company from within out, not from out in. They build their company from within out. So they really care about their team, the people. Like they take care of their people. They make them feel special. And any way I could get M&R marketing on the map, I will. Because They are doing amazing things, and more importantly, they're an amazing bunch of people. So that's some of the major things that's been going on, and so it took me a little while to kind of start juggling like what I was doing before and start adjusting to this new schedule and all of that stuff. So I think I have everything down packed. So I was like, it's only fitting that I show up and give you guys an update of what's going on with the podcast, what's going on with me, what I've been up to. So I'm still just dominating, still just trying my best. And when I say dominating, I mean that I'm still relentless in my pursuit. My wife and I, we bought a bus. So if you've listened to past episodes, you've heard me hint at that we're going to be doing a lot more. We are a traveling family. We're going to do a bunch of traveling. And so we bought a bus, and we're going to refurbish it to more of a living traveling space, and just travel the country at some point and at different times, So these are just some of the things. So it's been pretty cool. We've been renovating the bus. It's probably going to take a year because of just time and funds. It's just going to take a year to so we bought it like a couple months ago. So we're going to, by this time next year, it should be ready to go. Or probably a little bit sooner, like probably early summer next year. It should be ready to go. So we're super excited about that. So I just want to encourage anyone that has been at something, been pursuing something, and nothing seems like it's really working out right now, or your patience and all of that stuff. And make no mistake, like, these are great wins. Like, this is like one of the major things is that I wanted to like not just let design be a side hustle. Like, I had side hustle upon side hustle. Like, my side hustle was design plus podcasting plus this, right? So now design hustle is not design hustle. Sounds like a name of something. Design hustle. Nobody takes it. I've already claimed it. All right. It may already exist. Who knows? But anyways, like, design was a side hustle. Now I do it every day as all day. Like, I go to work in design, I come home in design. Like, I design all the time. Another rhyme. That's awesome. And I love it, and I enjoy it. And I'm learning, and I'm also like interjecting me in the company little by little. But I'm a little bit more patient with that. I like to go into something and learn about it in its totality, learn about it inside out before I start putting my 2 cents on if something needs to improve or I've done it this way and stuff like that. I like to actually know the thing pretty well before I start giving my 2 cents. I think a lot of times people try to give 2 cents or give input without actually knowing the thing or knowing the organization. I like to know it very well, know what their situation is, know what they're about, know what their clientele is, what their struggles, what their way of doing things are, and why they do things a certain way. But as time goes on, there'll be time for that. But I just want to let you guys know that, if you're trying to do something and you're pushing at it, like, just keep patient, keep being relentless, and being diligent and dedicated. It will be very important to getting you where you want to get. So as I told you, I'll be speaking at a conference called Design Revival in Columbus, Georgia. And it's September 6th and 7th. So I'll be speaking and also doing a workshop. And the workshop, it will be about social media and how to help churches use social media to grow their ministry. So that's one of the things that I'll be doing, and I'll also be speaking at the conference. So I'm looking forward to these new things, these new adventures, and I'm willing to take you along on the ride with me. If there's anything specific that you want to know, anything specific you want to learn, I've also started some mentoring, super selective. It's pretty in depth. Like I'm literally like walking with a couple people on a journey in trying to get them to where they want to get. And I'm excited about that. I haven't really promoted that like that. I guess this is like the beta. That's part of the reason probably why haven't been promoting it. But probably in the future I'll be putting it out there more. But yes, just trying to help different people in a specific industry, kind of like, because I think that's what I didn't have. I didn't have somebody like there that I can call on, or there where I know at this time I'm going to meet with them to kind of go in depth about this thing, and they can steer me in a good way. So that's what I'm trying to be for someone. So like, this is like a very soft pitch, because I don't really necessarily have a bunch of time. But if you're interested, let me know. Reach out to me. DP Creates everywhere. D as in dog, P as in Peter. The word creates with the S at the end. It's like that everywhere. Anywhere you'll find me. And we can talk more about it and go from there. But that's a very soft pitch. Very soft. Because it's not like I'm putting it out there that I'm taking on. You know what I mean? I just want to be able to help, at least 5 people. Just 5 people through their journey of wherever they're trying to get. Because I've done it. And I can help you avoid the pitfalls that I encountered. You may encounter your own, but at least the ones that I encounter, I can help you avoid it, right? And I can also probably help you get a win sooner than you would have. So that's what I've been up to. I've started a vlog, very soft vlog. Vlogging is very hard. So it's like I gave up editing of the podcast. Now I'm trying to take on editing of videos. How smart is that? But we see how it goes. I just want to keep everyone, now that I'm a little bit more free, because the corporation I used to work for was Brinks, and I can talk about it now. Yes, I worked for Brinks, the armored facility. And so if you go on my website and you see that that's a brand that I've designed for, they did hire me as a contractor to design for them. But I also worked for them like as a Brinks employee. So I couldn't talk about it at the time because a lot of security measures and stuff like that. So if you had like a one-on-one with me, you knew about it, but I couldn't really put it out there publicly. Like I didn't put it on my LinkedIn. I didn't put it. Now it's all on there because I'm no longer working there, and I don't have to worry about any security risk or anything like that. Like once you leave that place, you can never get back in. So it's not like I can go back in there and stuff like that. Like I literally still have. I worked there for 9 years. I would literally still have to be on the outside before they even try to let me in. So I can talk about it now. The security measures have been lifted, and I have a lot of experience in the financial, just dealing with money and managing money and stuff like that. So that's where I learned all of that. So yeah, that's where I was at. So there was a lot of security measures. So now that all of that's lifted, I can be more free in doing vlogs and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm excited about the next few months. I'm excited about next year. I'm just excited about everything, and I want you to be too. And if I can help bring some excitement to you, just reach out to me, and we can make this happen. It was pretty cool when I went to Creative South this year to see people that were fans of the show, people that listened to the show, and like to hear how much the show has helped them and how like they were ecstatic to meet me. And I'm like, you don't understand. I'm ecstatic to meet you. Like every time I hear of a listener, like I remember I was giving out a coaster because I was giving out podcast coasters. And this guy was like, oh, I was listening to this yesterday. And I was like my jaw, like, I see the numbers. I know that people are listening. I know that a lot of people are listening. But like when you actually are in front of that person's face, it's always surreal to me, because like I'm just a regular dude that was willing to just be relentless in my pursuit of trying to get where I want to get. So I think that's it. I rarely do solo shows, but I just wanted to give everyone an update on what's going on with the podcast. And if you've enjoyed this episode, if anything you would like to learn more about, go deeper in it. Like, for those who know me, like, I have nothing to hide. I'm trying my best to help everyone as I possibly can. And that's just my goal. And that's why I get these people. I know I have these connections. That's why I get these people on the podcast that you might not otherwise get to have a conversation with. But you could at least now hear their story. You can actually be that fly on the wall. So reach out. Let me know anything that you would like to see happen on the podcast, anything that you would like to know. Just reach out. DP Creates or Passion Behind the Art. Search it, and you can Google it and you'll find it, or just look into the show notes. Thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. Keep telling someone else. Keep spreading the word, because it really means a lot, and it helps the podcast to grow. That's the only way it grows, by you sharing it, by you leaving reviews, by you leaving comments on Apple Podcasts. So thank you. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. All right. And remember, go to our Patreon page and support the podcast, because this is literally how I fund the podcast, through the Patreon page. And if you buy like a podcast shirt, right? So you can buy a podcast shirt, or go to the Patreon page and support with just $2 a month. So it's very simple. If you want to go support, patreon.com/pbta show. Thank you. Be blessed. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. I hope it's been super valuable to you, and you're now ready to take your audience building, your community growing to the next level, to help you and help me build our empire, for lack of a better word, or just to build our thing. Remember to stop by iTunes, Passion Behind the Art, and leave a review and subscribe. It's very important to me. It helps the podcast grow, and it makes me feel good to kind of hear from you guys, to know what you like about this podcast, what it's done for you. So jump on iTunes and subscribe and leave a review. Passion Behind the Art. Be blessed.